This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hi, I'm Jo from J.H.Leather and welcome to this episode of Tool Time. So edge tools come in a range of sizes and styles, and in this video I'm going to show you the ones I use the most and how to maintain them. So I have a number of different edge tools, and mine are actually numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now the numbers are actually based on their sequence in the range of tools, so 4 is larger than 2 for example, and it doesn't actually equate to the cutting edge on the actual tool. So the edge tools that I use the most are my number 1 and my number 6 edge tool. Now these equate to a 1mm and a 3mm cutting edge. The other tool that I use a lot is a number 3 hollow edge tool, which has a cutting blade of about 2mm. I also have a 1/4 inch or a 6mm French shave. Another edge tool that I am actually looking to purchase in the future would be an even smaller edge tool that has a cutting blade of about 1.5 to 1.6mm. This is going to be used for really fine leather work. So I use these edge tools on a daily basis. Now the number 1 edge tool that I use on the grain and flesh side of the majority of my leather work. The number 6 edge tool that I have, I actually use for taking out the back of crew punches. Now this is to help the buckle tongue sit better into the buckle turn. I have also used this tool to make shaped fillers on raised collars. The number 3 hollow edge tool that I have, I actually like to use on the back of thick leather. So for example on dog collars, leads and belts, where I want a more rounded edge, and this does an excellent job at doing this. For the front shave, I use this to reduce the thickness of leather, where I am then going to stitch 2 pieces of leather together. Now you would have seen this used on my recent cartridge bag video, as well as the shoulder bag make along video. So when sharpening and maintaining your edge tools in your front shave, there are a few different things that you can do. So for the standard edge tools and the front shave, what I like to do is use a 1000 grit wet and dry paper, and I actually pull the tool towards me. So we want to make sure that the base of that tool is nice and flat and we don't round the back off. Once we've done that a few times, we're now ready to sharpen the inside of the tool. So to sharpen the inside of the tool, there are a couple different methods that we can use. So for a really narrow edge tool like the 1mm one that I have here, you can either use some folded over wet and dry paper, you put that in the groove and then work that away from you. Or you can use some thread which you have covered in a polishing compound. So I use tallow mixed with carborundum powder, but any polishing compound is fine to use. And you can put that repeatedly into the groove and pull the tool along the thread. So for larger tools and for your front shave, you're going to want to use either a thick piece of leather or a few pieces of leather stuck together, or you can do the same with some card. So what we're going to do is wrap around the 1000 grit paper around the edge of our leather or card, and then we can use that in the groove and pull that away from us. Likewise, you can cover the edge of this in your polishing compound and do the same. So once we've done that, what I like to do is a final polish of the back of the tool on my strop board, and we're going to do that the same as we did with the wet and dry paper on the back of the tool. And we're just going to pull that towards us, working the back of our edge tool. So for your hollow edge shave, we need to make sure that we follow something with a curved edge so we don't change the shape of the back of our tool. So for mine, I generally will just use this on the strop board, and I will do it on the edge where my leather is over the edge of my strop board, and that is covered in the polishing compound that I have on my strop, and that will give a nice polish to the back of the tool. Likewise, if you have a rounded object that you can put your wet and dry paper around, you can put a 1000 grit paper on that and do the same method. So to work the inside of the edge tool, we're going to do the same as before and use either a piece of thread or a piece of leather or card wrapped in either the wet and dry paper or covered in the polishing compound to make sure we polish that central part of the tool. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. So what is Skillshare? Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes to choose from. There are classes in photography, web design, illustration, video production, marketing, and much more. So I have been using Skillshare for a while, and logo design is something that I'm really interested in. So I took a number of classes, and the one that stands out for me is circular logo design, where Draplin combined type and icons in a classic shape, where he covers how to make circular logos from scratch. Now Aaron Draplin has several classes on design, and by working through them I managed to design myself a new logo for a separate business, and I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I managed to make it with no real experience in design at all. Skillshare is made specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and new premium classes are being launched all the time, and it's less than $10 a month on an annual subscription. And best of all, Skillshare are offering the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description a free trial of premium membership. So if you're new to leatherwork and you haven't used an edge tool or a French shave before, I'm just going to show you how to use them. So with the edge tool, what we're going to do is hold it so that the base of the tool follows the side of the leather. And then we're then going to hold this at about a 45-degree angle and push this away from us. The French shave I find is best used in conjunction with a stitch groover. So my edge shave is 1/4 of an inch, and so I will set my stitch groove to a 1/4 of an inch and groove a line. Now what I'm going to do is put the inside tooth of my French shave into that groove and push away from me, and this is going to start to take the thickness of that leather down. So that is it for this episode of Tool Time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I have left links to everything that I've talked about in the description below. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos and tutorials, and I'll see you in the next episode.